Would I be the idiot if I pull my money out of my friend's business if she starts selling shameful bedroom items? English is my second language, so bear with me. I helped my friend start a somewhat successful nighttime or odd hours grocery delivery business around some universities in my country. I managed the business for the first 6 months, personally delivered groceries at odd hours, and gave her around 80% of the starting capital to get going. I have no ownership stake in the business. I don't expect anything from her, and I did all this as a favor to her. Some people do know that I helped her. Recently, she told me that there is demand for shameful items like condoms and lube, etc. in our city, which can't be bought easily, and was planning to start delivering those items discreetly. I don't like that. I'm unmarried, and I don't want my name being dragged into those kinds of shameful things. My parents have started looking into marriage proposals for me, so I don't want my name being dirtied at this time. Even if my name wasn't being dragged into those kinds of things, I would still be very uncomfortable with just my money being used to deal with those kinds of things. I immediately said no to her, but she didn't seem happy about it and wanted me to reconsider. This is all very new for me, as I didn't think she would consider selling them. It has made me see her in a different light, and I don't think I can continue to support her with a clear conscience. I am tempted to ask for my money back, but I feel like it will be a bad move. My initial amount is still worth about half of the company's current capital. She is also planning to pursue a master's in the USA next year, and she is using the money from this business to show financial support for the visa. If I ask for my money back, it might be a setback to her. I really don't want to do that, but I cannot continue supporting her in good faith. I know that if I ask for my money, it might be the end of my friendship. Edit. Because the amount of money was large, I gave it to her with a notarized contract to protect myself. Legally, I have the right to ask for the money. Either I can ask for it all back with a 3-month notice, or I can ask for a schedule. Before this, I never intended to ask for even a cent back and always intended to write it off, essentially making it into something like a gift. I will not be asking for any money back for both our sakes. But I made it clear to her that she should do her activities discreetly, so that my name would not even be marginally involved in those kinds of activities. I also made it clear that I would not help her further. Why I don't want my name associated with those kinds of stuff, gossip here travels quite fast. My family is a rural family, not an urban one. If any of my relatives learn that I have any kind of involvement in buying and selling those kinds of stuff, they will massively pressure my parents to disown me. Also, I will be known as a loose girl in some of my social circles. It will be very hard to get a job or even a place to rent in the same area. My marriage prospects would also be ruined. You're the idiot. Bangladesh, ma? Low population numbers, low sex crime numbers. Sounds like your friend would be doing a service selling condoms, and Plan B women need access to these items all over the world. Help break the generational cycle of keeping the poor poor. People are having sex with or without your friend's contribution. She is helping people be responsible members of society. Religion is a tool used to keep people down. Don't contribute to that by pulling your funding from your friend. Not the idiot. While your morals sound more than a little conservative, especially for a Reddit audience, you are allowed to hold whatever moral beliefs you want. I also assume you are from a country where values are conservative and probably strongly tied to religion. Not the idiot. This was not the correct place to make this post. Your audience right now are privileged first world citizens who do not understand the fact that you could literally lose your life if you don't protect yourself. Do what you think is best for you to ensure that you remain protected. Would you take the money back? Let me know in the comments. Now. Am I the idiot for not staying away longer so that my BF and her boyfriend can have sex? Hello, Internet. Just for context, my best friend and I live together in a flat. We each have our own rooms. So yesterday was Valentine's Day. My best friend asked me to stay out of the flat for the evening so that she and her BF could have a nice date night. I know they haven't had sex yet, so I kinda knew what she was implying. I had school until 1 p.m. and got home at 7 p.m. I kind of sensed that that was too early, so I went in my room, hoping that'd be okay, because I didn't want to bother them. I texted my roommate an hour earlier that I was on my way home, to give her a heads up. Anyways, I even apologized to them for coming home so early, but they said it was okay, and we even ate dinner together. So today I'd eat breakfast, her boyfriend heads home, and she's a little pissed off. So I asked what they did yesterday, and she said, well, we obviously didn't sleep together, because plans changed, implying me coming home. That pissed me off, because I did try to give them space even after I got home and also texted her beforehand. So I told her, she and her boyfriend should just get a hostel room or something if it's that important. Which was mean, I know, and I'm regretting saying that, but yeah, I just feel very confused. I know I could have stayed away longer, so it could 100% be my fault, but I also don't appreciate her making it seem like it's my fault they haven't had sex. But it's not, so please tell me what you think. Am I an idiot? For context, my roommate and her buff met up at 4 p.m. I didn't know that. She's studying for her bachelor's run, so that's what she did up to that point. I don't know about him. She also said that she would sit in a bookstore until 11 p.m. if I asked, which I believe. But again, I wasn't sure when it was too early to be home. Also, they can't go to his place because his roommate and my best friend, and also me, don't get along, to say it lightly, and feel very uncomfortable around each other. You're the idiot. You agreed to do something, which was nice of you, then didn't do it. 7 is the beginning of the evening. Having a roommate means you sometimes will have to compromise. Couldn't you have gone to a movie or something? Not the idiot. You guys share an apartment, not a room. Why would you have to leave the whole apartment so they can have sex? If she wanted complete privacy, they should have booked a room. The only thing you did wrong was sit down and eat with them. You should have gotten your food and let them alone. Would you be annoyed if your roommate came back early? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for not notifying my husband about my overtime? First, a little backstory. 3 years ago, I, female 37, gave birth. Since then, I've been at home raising my daughter. Now that she's older, I decided to get a part-time afternoon job so that my husband, male 40, could watch over our daughter while I worked. At first, I found a job at a pastry shop, but the owner was terribly rude and I was working overtime, unpaid, every single day, so I left. I've started working at a burger joint and I actually really enjoy it. The problem started when I started going to work 15 minutes earlier and leaving a little later in order to get to know my coworkers. Everyone has been really welcoming and helpful, and I felt rude leaving the second my shift was over, while everyone else was staying for a bit to chat. My husband said that he was awkward with me going in a little early, but that's it. Yesterday I was working until midnight. We were really understaffed, and I didn't even get my break or even drank a cup of water during my whole shift. At midnight, my manager asked me to stay for another hour, so I did. The second I entered the crew room, I heard my phone ringing. It was my husband. I grabbed my jacket and called him back. I told him that I just got off work and how busy it was. He asked me if I knew where he was, and I didn't understand the question until I saw him with our 3-year-old a minute away from my job at 1 in the morning. He started yelling at me and saying that I should have called him, that he was worried, and that things have to change because things will get worse. He also forbade me calling him while he's at work. He works for himself. He has an office. At some point, I tried to calm things down by apologizing for not notifying him and explained to him that I couldn't go to the crew room because I was at the register. He said that he didn't accept the apology and we haven't talked since. Am I really that much of an odd for not notifying him of working an extra hour? P.S. My job is 2 blocks from our home, and I walk one of the most well-lit and busier streets to get there. Update, he called me. He apologized for overreacting. He said that he was worried, but he also has trouble adjusting to caring for our kid for long hours and having to be the one putting her to bed. I apologized for not informing him and promised to do so in the future. I hope things will get better. Everyone sucks here. You could have said to your manager when he asked you to stay longer that you needed a minute to inform your husband. You were an hour late home at midnight. I understand he was worried. He could have, however, behaved like a normal adult, not yelling like a madman. He was most likely afraid, and fear is a powerful feeling that can make people act badly. Maybe you should both act like adults and talk to each other. You're the idiot. You should have told your boss that you didn't have a problem with OT, but you'd have to let your fam know. I can't judge the don't call him at work thing because that needs more information. I don't understand how this is relevant to this story. Is she wrong for not telling her husband? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot if I tell my friend her BF is planning to propose? My female 27 best friend has been dating her boyfriend, male 26, for over 5 years. A while back he reached out to me to help figure out ring size and the setup, so he could make this the most magical day for her. Having known my friend for over 20 plus years, I know exactly how she wants her proposal to go and who she wants to be there. So I relayed all this information to him months ago via text and over the phone. I even took the time to covertly find and confirm which ring she would love the most. A little background. My friend is incredibly BLI family and friend-oriented, and in the past expressed to me on multiple occasions, especially during holiday season, that in the 5 years they've been together, he hasn't really made much of an effort to indoctrinate himself into her family or friendships the way she has for his. While I do generally like him, I've always felt that he is incredibly self-serving and self-focused. Recently, through a mutual friend, I found out he started a group text between his emphasis on his friends and his family to set up the time and date of the proposal. He has not only excluded myself, and according to the screenshots I've seen, he is doing everything verbatim I suggested he do, but he has completely excluded her family and other close friends from the event. He is planning on only having his boys and family present for the occasion, and knowing my friend, this would ultimately break her heart not being able to share this moment with her loved ones. I got heated and called him. At first, he was dodging my questions, then just outright said, "This is my proposal, and I've spent enough time and money to choose how I do it. Just be happy for your friend. It's not like you're not coming to the wedding. This infuriated me, and to make matters worse, I ran into her mom and dad at the grocery store and subtly asked if they knew of any possibility she was getting engaged. They were unaware, and I know for a fact my friend has told him that he needs to ask her parents for their blessing. She's somewhat traditional. My friend wears her heart on her sleeve, and I can predict how this event will go down when she sees all of his close friends and family and none of hers. Considering her previous sentiments about his lack of interest in her family or life, she will 100% see this as being hurtful and selfish, and I know she'll cry. To make matters worse, the location of the proposal is a whopping 30 minutes from her parents' home. I don't want to get involved in a fight or reveal the surprise, but on the other hand, I feel I owe it to my lifelong friend to help her avoid being hurt and disappointed. Maybe even helping her rethink what her future would look like with someone who just doesn't really appreciate what she values in life. So am I the idiot if I tell my friend her boyfriend is going to propose? Edit: I did not tell her parents. I covertly inquired if he had spoken to them yet about proposing since it's been 5 years, like in a joking way. Edit 2. The proposal is scheduled for this weekend. I will give you guys an update on how it goes. After so many responses, I have decided not to say anything and to let things play out. I gave him an opportunity by expressing the need to invite her parents and friends like she's always wanted, and he chose not to. That's on him, not me. You're the idiot. Stay out, far, far away. Let this play out. It's between them. You should not have told her parents either. If she hates the proposal, she can say no. Not the idiot. But don't stop him. He's showing his true colors. Let him do it. You shouldn't stop her from experiencing this, even if it ends up hurting her. But you can be there to help her pick up the pieces if you were right about how this plays out. Just be ready with a pint of ice cream and some girly films for if when it all goes wrong. Should she tell her friend? Let me know in the comments. Now. Am I the idiot for laughing at my mother and calling her crazy for her conservative advice? My husband, male 32, and I, female 29, have recently been struggling with our marriage due to financial worries and our sons, male 4, recent health issues. This has caused us to not only spend less quality time with each other, but mainly has led to us fighting fairly often about pretty much everything. The solution most likely would be to just communicate better, but we're just having quite a bit of trouble recently. Every time I think we'd talked it out, and things will be better, it goes back to the way it was before in a matter of days. A few days ago, I asked my mother for advice when I was dropping off the kids at her place for the day. She's been married now for over 35 years to my dad and has 6 adult children, so I figured she must be doing something right. She responded quickly saying that it was all my fault for not putting my husband and his needs first. It came out so quick I figured she must have been waiting for me to ask her opinion. I was shocked. Not only did she completely pass the blame on me, what she said sounded like it came straight from the 50s, and it didn't get better from there. She continued elaborating on how and why I've been doing everything wrong from the start, criticizing my career choice, my hobbies, my clothing choices, etc. Now what I did next was probably not completely the right call, but I don't really regret it either. Instead of responding, I just started laughing loudly for like a minute or so. She asked why I was laughing, and I called her crazy for putting all the blame on me and playing on such outdated stereotypes. Next thing I know, she screams and cusses at me and throws me and the kids out. It's been 4 days, and she hasn't responded to any of my texts or calls, and I'm getting worried. Apparently, she's also banned my dad from answering the phone. I do know through my siblings that she's doing OK, but apparently refuses to talk about our fight with them. I've thought about trying to apologize to her. So far, I've mostly asked to talk to her, and if she's alright. We usually check in on each other every day, but I'm not sure I can get myself to lie to her to restore our relationship. In addition to the injury, my husband is also somewhat mad at me since my parents are the only source of free childcare we have, and we bring them to their place most Sundays to catch up on housework, bills, etc. Am I the idiot? Everyone sucks here. You asked for advice, and I don't believe for a second that at the age of 29, and as a married parent, you didn't have a pretty good idea already what your mom's beliefs were. Not the idiot. Your mom finally revealed that she hates who you chose to be as an adult. It's a hard pill to swallow, but you shouldn't keep people who hate you in your life. Good luck. No idiots here. Well, obviously, don't laugh at the person providing you with free childcare. Lesson learned. All this boils down to really different worldviews. Looks like you need a babysitter and a marriage counselor though.